Warning, I trigger Amazon Alexa in this video. Mine is over here, it's not turned on, so it's not going to affect me, but it's probably going to affect you. So I've never really tried out a voice assistant specific device. I've used Amazon on my phone, I've used Siri on my phone, and I've used Google Assistant on my phone. And they're great, but Morgan left his here the other day after a LAN party, so we wanted to give it a go and just see what the hype's about. Hey guys, my name is Ryan Thomas for FailTech, and this is the Amazon Echo Dot, the £35 awesome voice assistant that you can get on Amazon. Let's see if it's worth it. Right now, the Amazon Echo Dot is £35, making it a lot cheaper than its chief rivals, the Google Home Mini, and for some reason the Apple HomePod, which is like £300 or £400. It's a different class of product. They haven't put it in the same category, but it's the Siri speaker essentially. So for £35, what does that get you over the competition? Well, the most important thing to me is the fact that this has a headphone jack. And okay, a headphone jack might sound a little bit silly, but you use it as a line out and you connect it to a good old hi-fi and you get an incredible experience. Why does the Google Home Mini not have a jack? It's like the most important thing for this, in my opinion. What is the Amazon Echo Dot and what can you use it for? Well, it's this little micro USB powered puck, which you can use just standalone, or you can connect it to a hi-fi or a set of speakers via the headphone jack. What I really like about this is, again, it's powered over micro USB, and the cable you get in the box actually has a cable for micro USB extending into a wall wart, meaning that you can actually plug it into a USB battery bank and use it like that, like you would with your phone, for instance, which is something that's really cool. You can also use it as a smart home device, meaning that you can use it with the rest of the smart home devices in your house. I have it connected to a hi-fi, which isn't smart, it's kind of old school tech, and it kind of makes it all smart. And I've also connected it to my Philips Hue system. I have one bridge and 3 bulbs, and they're connected around my room. So I tried it with that as well, so I kind of used a bit of new age and old age tech in with the Amazon Echo Dot, which is by far the cheapest thing on this setup. I couldn't really figure out how to factory reset it, but then I figured it out online. Once I'd done that, I installed the Amazon Alexa app on my phone, which is an iPhone 10. Seemed to work fairly seamlessly once I'd figured out how to reset it. What it does is it picks a Wi-Fi network. You connect to that Wi-Fi network if you're not already. I guess it's got 2 NICs or something. Connects to the other network interface, which is your home Wi-Fi. Then you reconnect back to your home Wi-Fi. It sounds a lot more complicated than it is. It's very easy. They give you a basic rundown of what to do on the Alexa app, which is fantastic. And then you basically control everything with the Alexa app on your phone. There are these things called skills, which are, well, what it says on the tin basically. They are what your Amazon Alexa or Echo Dot can do. And these skills can be anything from connecting to your Philips Hue, to telling you the time, to telling you specific days, anything like that. Now the built-in skills are part of Amazon's little ecosystem. They work really well. For example, asking it what date it is, how many days until a certain point, doing basic maths, things like that, asking it random facts. That's cool. Sometimes kind of gimmicky, but quite cool. But for some reason, I couldn't find it working with Spotify. I couldn't find the Spotify skill within the Echo skills. Then I look on Spotify's website and find out you have to do it a certain way. So I'm like, okay, let's do this. Connect it all up. And then as soon as I connect, it comes up with this message telling me that I need premium to use it with Spotify. Like, it's just really annoying. Obviously, it makes sense because Spotify on your phone is kind of, well, locked down. But if it was anything like Spotify on the computer, which is pretty open, to be honest, apart from advertisements and downloading, it would be great, but apparently it's not. So Amazon Prime Music, which I believe is what you get when you use this thing, works pretty well. It's not the same as Amazon Music, I found out. So when I searched for a certain John Bellion song, it wouldn't allow me to play it, even though it recognized what it was, just because it was part of a different music bundle. That's kind of annoying, but I did get a banging tune going. Alexa, play Running in the 90s.
Running in the 90s by Max Covery.
I really like that this thing has a line out jack, and I've said that multiple times in this video. The speaker that's included inside it is pretty good. Like, don't get me wrong, it's pretty good for a Bluetooth speaker. However, because it has that jack out, you can connect it to as bigger or as small a set of speakers as you want. And because it's so small, you can kind of double-sided Velcro it to like the back of a speaker or something and keep it seamlessly plugged in there. Looks great, works great. And again, you kind of need Spotify Premium for it to really work. But even then, that's not that much of a price. But then I tried a feature that I would continue to use until I gave the device back. And that is that this thing works really well with Philips Hue. Now, yes, I get that you can use Siri or Google Assistant. I have Siri on my phone and on my computer. I could easily use that. But just having something that's more of a family device, more of something that's permanent and less of something that you kind of have to log into a personal computer, log into your phone, anything like that. It's kind of just part of the family home, and it works really well for recognizing pretty much everyone's voices. So if someone walks in the room and says, Alexa, turn on the lights, which again, it's right there, unplugged, it's not going to do anything. And I never had it fail in my testing. The only times that it didn't manage to recognize my voice was really when I was telling it to stop telling me some facts. So music would easily, if I said Alexa stop, it would just stop it, it's fine, which is weird because it's music. However, when it was trying to tell me a fact or a piece of information, it would take multiple attempts sometimes to get it to stop. Not all the time, and it did work the majority of the time, but sometimes there were some issues. So for example, if I needed to ask it a fact and it read me out a whole article and I only needed the small top bit, then I would ask it to stop, and sometimes it would just carry on going and I'd have to reconfigure it and redo it again. Minor bugs really. For £35 you're getting an absolute brute of a little device. And another thing I really like about the Amazon Echo Dot is the fact that the Dot model, the one that we have here, fits in amazingly well into the home. It's small, it uses, again, micro USB and has a very small wall wart on the end, meaning that you don't need a huge power supply or loads of mix of cables, Ethernet, all this stuff. It's all pretty much wireless, so you could have even one cable if you wanted to. And it fits really nicely, you know, next to a TV bench, or maybe in the kitchen, in the lounge, in the hallway, anything like that. It just kind of sits there and it becomes part of the home. And that's something I think is really important because a lot of people aren't going to want like loads of LEDs and shininess around everywhere. Yes, you've got that ring LED on the top, and that's great, but it only really comes on when you need it to. I find that the Echo Dot just kind of inconspicuously blends into the environment, and I really like that. So who's this for? Well, I think it's majority quite gimmicky. I think a lot of what you might use this for, you might also have the ability to do on your smartphone or your computer, so it's really nothing new. However, for something that's just standalone and you don't need your phone and it works for the whole family, this is quite interesting. And especially for a nerdy or geeky or techie type, this is something that would be a good stocking filler or a good present for Father's Day, anything like that. I think it's one of those things. It's quite gimmicky again. I don't think it's incredibly useful, apart from one thing. Again, I mentioned the jack and I mentioned the Philips Hue and I mentioned the Spotify. But with the Philips Hue, I reckon having one of these bundled in with your Philips Hue would be amazing. If Philips could partner up with Amazon and package them together in a little bundle, that would be great. You can get them as a module pair on Amazon website, but it's not quite the same thing. I reckon this is the perfect Philips Hue accessory. It's great at recognizing your voice, it's great at outputting those commands to the Hue bridge with minimal latency, and it makes doing things like setting up your lighting a lot easier because you don't need individual light switches, and sometimes going into the Philips Hue app, you have to go in there and then change individual lights or set them to a different color. You can just use your voice as you're carrying on doing your work. In conclusion, for £35, it's an absolute steal. You can get them for £50, but £35 is the deal that seems to be going on for an awfully long time. You can get it in black or white. The one we have here is black. Scratches fairly easily, but again, it's one of those things that you're probably not going to notice because it's just so small and inconspicuous. The way you can turn off the microphone temporarily is great. It gets my full recommendation from Feltec, but don't expect it to do everything because it's not perfect. It's just pretty good. Okay, that's been it from me, guys. My name's been Ryan Thomas from Feltec. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, dislike, comment, and subscribe if you're new and to never miss a video like this one. Also, thank you so much to my patrons because you guys are amazing for your incredible continued support. Please do follow my social media because it really does help me out. And again, thank you so much for watching. I've been Ryan Thomas with Feltec, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.